Chapter 21 Imported Grapes. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Qingyun, ever heard of imported grapes? That like he figured, Tan Qingyun's snack box wasn't empty, it even had those super rare snow grapes. They were cool and refreshing, kinda like ice cream, but way better. About a half hour later, Lu Changjing, holding Tan Qingyun close, asked her seriously. Nope, never heard of Tan Qingyun said, looking blank. Lu Changjing pinched one, popped it in his mouth, and then said, looking at her, this is an imported grape. Ooh, I like Tan Qingyun reached for one from Lu Changjing's mouth, but he quickly snatched it away and ate it himself. They started playing around, and soon they polished off almost all the grapes from the top layer of the box. Just as they were down to the last few, a cold voice cut through the air. Brother Emperor, if imported grapes are so good, why not share the love? That the voice was frosty, laced with anger, and sounded way too familiar. Lu Changjing and Tan Qingyun scrambled to their feet and looked towards the sound. Standing there was Lin Yisin, frowning, her eyes spitting sparks. She was looking at Lu Changjing like he was the biggest jerk in the world, her pretty little face turning green. She was practically baring her teeth, like she was ready to bite him, and deep down, Lu Changjing could see a flicker of suspicion in her eyes. *, don't overthink it. Now's not the time to get caught. The fallout could be brutal. He strode over to Lin Yisin, and before she could even blink, he swept her into a hug and offered her the last of the snow grapes. If Xian wants some, of course. Ha! Lin Yisin's eyes widened in shock. She didn't seem to know what was happening, but she mechanically chewed and swallowed the grape. She was stunned. She'd imagined this moment, but never thought it would come so fast, so suddenly, like this. Seeing Lin Yisin distracted, Tan Qingyun breathed a sigh of relief and quietly slipped out of the imperial study. She wasn't about to let Lin Yisin make things worse for her. Sure, they were both concubines and held similar ranks, but Lin Yisin had practically grown up with the emperor, and her dad was the big-shot king of Hulua. Tan Qingyun's dad was just a rich businessman, so her status was naturally lower than Lin Yisin's. For a while, Lu Changjing looked at Lin Yisin, who was blushing, and explained. Qingyun just stumbled on the skylight in the study and snuck in. I didn't ask her to come. Then why didn't you tell me about it? I could have come to see you sooner, Brother Emperor. Lin Yisin was still a little miffed. Lu Changjing said with a helpless expression, since you left last time, it's been ages. I haven't had a chance. You could have come to me. Or sent someone. Lin Yisin pouted. Lu Changjing forced a smile and apologized. I know, but Eunuch Cao's got his eye on me. I can't risk it. If I blow my cover, all these years of practice are for nothing. It's all my fault. Please forgive me, Xian. Aren't you afraid of succeeding with Qingyun? Lin Yisin sniffed. Lu Changjing leaned in and whispered, Qingyun isn't as pretty as you. A man's gotta say what he's gotta say, right, star? Okay, fine, Lin Yisin beamed. Hearing Lu Changjing say she was prettier than Tan Qingyun made her dislike of the girl fade away. She'd been planning on giving Tan Qingyun a hard time later, but now she wasn't so sure. Looks like I'm still his favorite. Tan Qingyun's nothing but a doll-faced dummy anyway. Lu Changjing pressed his advantage, pretending to be exasperated. Oh, it's rough, Xian. I've been practicing hidden yang technique for years and haven't been with a woman. The pure yang energy in my body's building up, and it's almost unbearable. Qingyun helps me relieve it, but we don't get too intimate. Oh, Brother Emperor, I get it. I can help you relieve the pain too. You don't always have to go to Qingyun, Lin Yisin said, hugging his neck, all her anger forgotten. Any lingering doubts she had vanished. After all, ever since she'd known the emperor, she'd never seen him get close to another woman. Seeing Lu Changjing and Tan Qingyun feeding each other grapes had been like a punch to the gut, filling her with suspicion, but after sharing those last grapes and hearing Lu Changjing's explanation, she let it go. He's been keeping himself locked up for so long, it's no wonder he's ready to burst. I should know he's still just a kid. She knew how charming the women in the harem were. Even she, as a woman, felt drawn to them, so she could only imagine how the emperor felt. She didn't push the issue any further, instead turning the remaining grapes into snow grapes and feeding them to Lu Changjing to soothe his troubled heart. While Lin Yixin was getting over her suspicions, Lu Changjing was happily munching on grapes, oblivious to the fact that someone else was starting to wonder about him. Looking towards the imperial study from a distance, Zhou Ruolin, concubine E, kept replaying her last meeting with Lu Changjing in her mind. Something's off. His Majesty's different. Before, every time I got close to him, it felt like he was putting up a "no trespassing" sign. Especially for us concubines, we were afraid to even look at him, fearing we'd ruin his practice. And for some reason, he always seemed so distant, like he didn't care about anyone, including us. But this time, all that was gone. Instead, I felt this weird sense of closeness, like he was actually human. Could it be that the hidden yang technique's almost perfected, so he's finally letting his guard down? But is it really this big of a change? Thinking about it, Zhou Ruolin's brow furrowed. She had no idea that the emperor, who she thought of as aloof and cold, was actually inside, sharing grapes and laughing with Lin Yixin. If she knew, Zhou Ruolin might not just be suspicious, she might do something about it. Back in the royal study, Lin Yixin, who'd finished her grapes, eagerly opened the next compartment of the snack box, hoping to find more goodies, especially if they were imported, Chapter 22 Tan Qingyun is too stingy. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Seriously? All this is 5 elements pills and 5 elements spirit fruits. Lu Changjing was surprised to find that beneath the top-grade 5 elements pills in the food box were low-grade spirit fruits, each containing all 5 elements, perfect for practicing the 5 elements golden body technique. Tan Qingyun must have thought the pills weren't enough, so she threw in some extra, super rare 5 elements spirit fruits. Lin Yixin frowned, looking at Lu Changjing. Someone with the emperor's power shouldn't need this stuff, right? It's not for me. I'm giving it away, Lu Changjing explained, unable to admit he was a fake. With his current limited cultivation, he could only handle 5 elements pills. Lin Yixin pouted. You didn't need to ask Qingyun to get it. You could have just grabbed some from the secret vault. It's for a genius I'm secretly training. I don't want anyone knowing, not even Eunuch Cao, Lu Changjing said, pointedly mentioning Xuanhuan. Lin Yixin raised an eyebrow. So, is it true that Xuanhuan has you under house arrest, Emperor? Not letting you go out whenever you want? That's not true. Lu Changjing quickly denied it, wanting to save Lin Yixin the trouble of confronting Xuanhuan. It's just, I bragged about mastering the Zhanyang technique in 3 years, so Eunuch Cao's been riding my tail, wanting me to learn it ASAP. Yang Shu is the royal heir, after all, so he's in charge. Besides, Tan Qingyun's gift is also a secret. You can't let him find out you're here, or it'll be a mess to explain later. Got it. You're afraid too many people will show up, and you won't be able to keep track, Lin Yixin said with a sweet smile, thinking just like Tan Qingyun. Don't worry, Emperor. The less people who know about this, the better. I won't breathe a word of it to anyone. I'll tell Qingyun to watch what she says, too. But honestly, Xuanhuan is going too far. He's just a eunuch. Meddling in the emperor's business? If it wasn't for the good of Daning, I'd get my dad to teach him a lesson. King Helua was nearly as powerful as Xuanhuan, with closer ties to the royal family, so Lin Yixin could throw around those kinds of threats. Lu Changjing smiled and nodded, but secretly hoped King Helua wouldn't do anything to Xuanhuan. Honestly, Tan Qingyun's being so stingy. Just some basic medicine and low-level spirit fruit. I'll bring you some real goodies later. Lin Yixin eyed the 5 elements pills and low-level spirit fruits with disdain. Have you ever tried silver dragon blood, Emperor? My dad has some. I'll ask him for some for you. Lu Changjing's heart skipped a beat, but he still refused. I'm just playing around here. I can't let people know. Silver dragon blood is too precious, someone might trace it back to me. Lin Yixin smiled. Don't worry, Emperor. I'll just say I took it. No one will suspect you, so chill. Forget the other stuff. Tan Qingyun's hogged the emperor for way too long. It's my turn. Half an hour later, Lu Changjing, still on edge and worried Xuanhuan might barge in, finally saw Lin Yisan leave. She also exited through the small skylight Tan Qingyun had discovered. Almost no one in the palace knew about this secret spot. If Tan Qingyun hadn't shown the way and Lin Yisan followed her sneakily, this hideaway wouldn't have been uncovered. Waving goodbye to Lin Yisan, and licking his increasingly sweet lips, Lu Changjing felt a twinge of worry. Now another concubine knew his secret, increasing the risk of getting caught. He needed to accelerate his training. ASAP. Grimacing, he went to the dragon-carved wooden table and quietly ramped up his practice, just skimming the memorials. Xuanhuan didn't return until evening. By then, Lu Changjing had everything in order, so he noticed nothing out of the ordinary. Even so, Xuanhuan still chewed him out and warned him again to be careful and not overstep his boundaries. After dinner, he was immediately hustled into a secret room and locked up. Once the stone door was sealed, Lu Changjing pulled out the low-level spirit fruits Tan Qingyun had brought, ready to boost his cultivation. Tan Qingyun had obviously considered what level of power the warriors could handle. She decided the secret genius he was training was a top-tier warrior, so he could only take the top-level 5 elements pills for the time being. That's why she'd specifically brought low-level spirit fruits with milder medicinal properties, even less potent than Millennium Ginseng decoction, so there shouldn't be any problems. Lu Changjing ate a golden spirit seed. It tasted crisp and refreshing, making him want more. Soon, a surge of medicinal power roared through him. Though intense, it wasn't violent, and Lu Changjing was able to absorb it. Let's go. Tiger thunder sound. Leopard thunder. That the 5 elements boxing technique was running at full throttle, digesting the medicine at an astonishing rate. Lu Changjing's cultivation realm also advanced rapidly, his qi and blood surged, and his bone marrow was quickly tempered. The feeling of such rapid progress was addicting. In a single night, Lu Changjing consumed 2 low-level spirit fruits, bringing him close to completing the marrow training stage. He didn't rest at all, continuing until Mao Shi, 5 to 7 a.m., when he overheard Xuanhuan reading the memorials and giving instructions. Xuanhuan's lectures continued until Chen hour, 7 to 9 a.m., when he left the imperial study to handle other business, as the commander of the Jinui and the chief of tens of thousands of eunuchs in the harem. Xuanhuan had a mountain of things to do every day. If Lu Changjing hadn't been a novice and prone to errors, Xuanhuan wouldn't have wasted so much time babysitting him. Now that he saw Lu Changjing could handle most situations, he felt relieved and began tackling the tasks that had piled up. This gave Lu Changjing a window of opportunity, and naturally, Tan Qingyun and Lin Yisan as well. Not long after Xuanhuan left, Lin Yisan, filled with resentment, snuck in again. However many times Tan Qingyun snuck in before, she's gonna get that many back. No, more. I brought hundreds of ice grapes today, Emperor. Let's enjoy some imported fruit. Lu Changjing's face paled. Hundreds? How long would that take? And what if Xuanhuan caught them? Though worried, Lu Changjing was powerless to resist Lin Yisan's flawless beauty and her lips, which seemed ready to burst into bloom. She was challenging his weakness. How could a gentleman like him refuse? Grabbing Lin Yisan's hand, Lu Changjing quickly pulled her into the secluded secret room. Hurry, hurry. Your brother loves imported grapes. Chapter 23. The Dog Emperor Dies. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Tan Qingyun and Lin Yisan's relationship with Lu Changjing moved surprisingly fast. Lu Changjing, once just a regular guy, had always dreamed of finding an average girl, someone without all the bells and whistles, for a simple kind of love, holding hands, strolling down the street, catching a movie, sharing some hot pot, maybe even taking a trip somewhere. She didn't have to be a knockout, maybe she had a bit of a temper, and maybe she even had a couple of exes in her past. None of that would matter, as long as she didn't hold it against him that he didn't have a house, a car, or any savings to speak of, as long as she was willing to build a life with him. Once they were married and had a family, he'd bust his butt to make sure they were comfortable. But even with such modest expectations, and a clear understanding of his own situation, he still couldn't find a girl who was willing to give him a shot. Just a regular girl would do, and now, after traveling through time, he'd somehow managed to go on dates with two stunningly beautiful women in just a couple of months, and things were moving fast, like, second base on the first date, almost a third. This left Lu Changjing, who'd always longed for a sweet romance, both embarrassed and secretly thrilled. He grinned, savoring the taste of the imported grapes. They were unbelievably sweet, even though things were progressing a little quickly. He figured that Ning Zhongyu had been married to the harem concubine for years. Their husband and wife, so things moving fast was only natural. Who starts a marriage by shyly flirting with their wife? The marriage was probably consummated long ago. Lu Changjing was actually taking things slow. If he weren't dealing with problems both inside and outside, he'd probably have a kid by now. 2 hours later, Lin Yisan left, looking a little dazed. Lu Changjing quickly grabbed some high-grade ointment and applied it to his lips, hoping to heal them quickly and avoid raising Xuanhuan's suspicions. Over the next few days, Lin Yisan kept her word, dropping by regularly, determined to keep up with Tan Qingyun. If Lu Changjing hadn't been so strong, his hidden yang technique would have failed long ago. But one evening, while Lu Changjing was busy enjoying imported bananas with Lin Yisan, he didn't notice a small figure slipping through the hole in the skylight and hiding in the secret room. They weren't near the secret room at the moment. If they were near it, the figure wouldn't get in so easily. They were hanging out by a desk in the corner. Jerk Emperor, the figure muttered, shameless, doing that kind of stuff in broad daylight. After finding a hiding spot, the figure let out a long sigh, her pretty face flushed, and she couldn't help but spit. Her voice was clear and sweet, obviously a woman, and it sounded lovely. What the woman didn't know was that she was far stronger than Lu Changjing and Lin Yisan. If they had encountered her, Lu Changjing and Lin Yisan would have been goners, so it wasn't her who should be relieved, but Lu Changjing and Lin Yisan. They narrowly escaped and got to enjoy those tasty imported spirit bananas. As dusk settled, Lin Yisan hurried off, and Xuanhuan returned not long after. After offering some advice on things Lu Changjing was struggling with, Xuanhuan told him to rest in the secret room after dinner. As usual, he started practicing the 5 elements. Boxing, but not before enjoying a low-level spirit fruit. But as he practiced, Lu Changjing failed to notice a subtle fragrance wafting through the secret room, mingling with the smell of the auxiliary spices, making it hard to detect. It wasn't until almost midnight that Lu Changjing realized something was wrong. His body felt weak, and he couldn't even hold his fists properly. Could I have been poisoned? Lu Changjing immediately knew something was up. He turned, intending to escape the secret room and seek Xuanhuan's help, but it was too late. Jerk Emperor, your time is up. With a cold snort, a small figure darted out from the corner of the secret room, blocking Lu Changjing's path. Although he couldn't determine her exact strength, she was definitely stronger than a grandmaster, because his strength was almost that of the first person under the grandmaster, but he still couldn't find out the details of the other party. Even if he hadn't been poisoned, Lu Changjing was no match for her. Am I going to die here today? No, she was. After Ning Zhongyu, not him, Lu Changjing. He couldn't let this happen. The female assassin was dressed in gray and wore a gray cloth over her face, hiding her features completely, but she had a good figure and a pleasant voice. More importantly, she didn't attack immediately. After stopping Lu Changjing, she sneered at him. How do you like the soft dragon fragrance? It can fascinate even a dragon. You, the self-proclaimed Dragon Emperor, won't be able to resist it. It's pretty effective, Lu Changjing said, feeling his limbs weakening. He smiled wryly. I wonder, what's my offense? Why are you taking such a big risk to assassinate me? Thought it was best to stall and see what was going on. If that didn't work, he'd just come clean. You ask what you've done. The female assassin's eyes flashed red. Jerk Emperor, do you remember the Huangsha River bursting its banks 5 years ago? Lu Changjing's expression changed slightly. Xuanhuan had specifically told him about that incident, saying it was a major event that occurred shortly after Ning Zhongyu took the throne. At the time, there had been days and nights of heavy rain in the middle and upper reaches of the Huangsha River. Even the Grand Masters couldn't disperse the clouds and were helpless as the flood spread. As a result, the Huangsha River flooded, threatening to breach its banks. To protect the lands in Shufu downstream, the dikes were broken in the middle and lower reaches, diverting the river's water into Songren Prefecture and other areas. This decision caused immense suffering in Songren Prefecture, but it saved several prefectures downriver. It was said that Songren Prefecture suffered at least 1 million casualties at the time, making it one of the worst disasters since Ning Zhongyu had taken power. Songren Prefecture hadn't recovered. "Are you from Songren Prefecture?" Lu Changjing had a sinking feeling and looked at the female assassin. The female assassin gritted her teeth, tears welling up in her eyes. "Yes, I'm from Songren Prefecture. It's my home. Because of your order, the entire Songren Prefecture became a living hell. My father, mother, brother, sister, aunt, they all died in the flood. If I hadn't been away training with my master at the time, I would have died too. Ever since that day, I've been working hard on my martial arts and finally reached the level of Grandmaster. I captured a young lady who was traveling away from the palace to visit relatives, disguised myself as her, and slipped into the palace unnoticed. Now I've finally got my chance. Dog Emperor, you're dead this time. The blood debt of 1 million people in Songren Prefecture will finally be paid." Lu Changjing was stunned. He hadn't expected such a history behind the assassination attempt. However, there were a lot of things about this situation that the female assassin didn't know. Even though Ning Zhongyu was a bad person who allowed his subordinates to collude with demons, he was innocent in this matter. Chapter 24: The Truth That Subverts Everything. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The assassin clearly wanted Lu Changjing to understand why he was dying, so she didn't kill him right away. Looking at the tearful woman, Lu Changjing paused and said, "If the Songren Mansion embankment hadn't been breached 5 years ago to divert the Huangsha River, the downstream prefectures would have flooded, causing even more deaths. I don't care about downstream. All I know is you ordered the breach, and Songren Mansion was flooded, killing or injuring millions, including my entire family." The assassin's voice rose. "You dog of an emperor. I'm just a girl, I don't know the court's big picture. I only know that you dog emperor, killed my family, so you'll pay with your life. Before seeking revenge, did you even know the truth about the Songren Mansion flood?" Lu Changjing asked with a sad smile. "The truth?" She frowned. "What other truth is there? Isn't the truth that you, the dog emperor, ordered the breach, turning our home into a living hell?" Lu Changjing sighed. "You really don't know the whole story. I didn't order the breach. If you don't believe me, check the records in the Imperial study. It's all documented." "Impossible. Everyone I asked said you ordered it. How could it not be you?" she shouted, drawing her sword, ready to strike. Lu Changjing looked at her. "I'm telling you, if you don't believe me, check the Imperial study records. There's a backup. I had no idea you were planning to assassinate me, so I wouldn't have faked the records. Go look, and you'll see." Humph. A thought struck her. "You're trying to trick me. Chao Wenjing is out there. He'll kill me if I go out. That way, you're safe, and I don't get my revenge." Lu Changjing smiled wryly. "There's a mirrored peephole in this room. Check it, see if Chao Wenjing's out there. If he is, stay put. If he's not, go get the file. After all, you don't want to die without knowing the real enemy." "Well." She blushed, but stubbornly said, "I just didn't expect you, the dog emperor, to be pulling these tricks." Following Lu Changjing's directions, she quickly found the peephole. Seeing Chao Wenjing wasn't there, she relaxed a little, but still kept Lu Changjing as her hostage, cautiously leading him out. If anything seemed wrong, she'd kill him instantly. She was ready to die anyway. Revenge was worth everything, even dying to take this emperor with her. "The file on the Huangsha River breach is in the 3rd compartment on the 1st shelf. Just grab it." Lu Changjing pointed, and she quickly located the thick file. She immediately dragged him back to the hidden room, locking the door. "Stay put." Leaving Lu Changjing, she started flipping through the documents. Her eyes quickly welled up again. What happened back then was a nightmare. Seeing it all laid out in detail, how could she not cry? But soon, her tears receded, and she stood up, stunned. Impossible. This can't be. It wasn't you who ordered the breach, it was you Jinzhong, the respected master of Songren Palace. I don't believe it. When things got desperate, the court hadn't reached a decision, and I was unsure what to do. Master Yu, on the front lines, made the call to breach the embankment to protect the millions downstream, Lu Changjing said gravely. She glared at him. Master Yu is good to the people. He'd never do such a thing. You've doctored the files, blaming Master Yu. I'll kill you, you dog emperor. You think this is a crime? Lu Changjing asked, surprised. She gripped her sword. Isn't it? Killing so many people isn't a crime. But everyone sees the breach as a heroic act, Lu Changjing said solemnly. It saved several downstream areas, keeping tens of millions safe. That outweighs the millions who suffered. So the file doesn't blame Master Yu, it gives him all the credit, not me. She trembled. Even knowing Lu Changjing was right, she couldn't accept it. Lu Changjing continued, in the public eye, breaching the dam was a great deed, so, with the help of many, the credit fell on me, and I stole Master Yu's glory. If you hadn't come tonight, I wouldn't have told anyone this. It would hurt my image. So when everyone said you ordered the breach, they were praising you, not blaming you. She hissed. She remembered the admiration people had shown for Emperor Daning when discussing the matter. She hadn't thought about it then, hadn't dared to, but now it made sense. It was all true, the target of her revenge wasn't her enemy. The real enemy was Yu Jinzhong, praised by Songren Mansion and her own family. The irony was crushing. She broke down, weeping uncontrollably, lost and unsure of what to do. Lu Changjing said nothing, just watched quietly. Midnight had passed, his health was restored, the poison was gone, protected by the Huangjilingfu, he was no longer in danger, he had been too weak to even use the talisman before. Chapter 25 I Can Help You. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Master Yu, why would you Jinzhong do something like that? He was the head of Songren Mansion. Why destroy the whole place? After a long cry, the female assassin asked, her voice raw. Lu Changjing replied, didn't I just explain? Compared to the several prefectures downstream on the Huangsha River, Songren Mansion just wasn't as vital. Before Master Yu ordered the breach, he warned everyone in Songren Mansion to prepare. Unfortunately, a lot of people didn't believe it. The female assassin retorted bitterly, he gave notice the day before. Even if they did believe it then, how could they escape in time? The water rose so fast. Unless they immediately ran for the hills, they were doomed. Lu Changjing sighed. The records show the situation was desperate. Yu Jinzhong issued the order under immense pressure. Gaining even a day took everything he had. You're just dodging responsibility, the female assassin scoffed. Even if you didn't give the order, you're still implicated. Lu Changjing didn't deny it. He looked at her seriously and said, if I were in Master Yu's shoes, I probably would have made the same call. Even if I hadn't fully grasped the Huangsha River's dynamics, even with the endless debates among court officials, I likely would have been the one ordering the dam breached. The female assassin was taken aback, seemingly not expecting such frankness. Was he not afraid she'd actually kill him? In the eyes of you powerful people, are the million lives lost or ruined in Songren Prefecture so insignificant, that she asked, her voice edged with anger, they were living, breathing people. Even if their numbers were smaller than those in the downstream prefectures, they didn't deserve to die. Those million lives in Songren Prefecture were not expendable, Lu Changjing said firmly. But in that situation, a choice had to be made. Faced with the lives of tens of millions versus millions, most people choose the greater number. You would have too. A single prefecture in the Daning dynasty held tens of millions of people, some even over 100 million. Several prefectures together held hundreds of millions. In a disaster, tens of millions becoming casualties was just the beginning. In that context, a million seemed like a drop in the bucket. The female assassin was speechless. She wanted to argue, but if she were the emperor, or in Yu Jinzhong's position, what would she have done? The answers weren't great, leaving her silent. Finally, she turned to leave. Even so, Yu Jinzhong is responsible for my friends and family's death. I still want to kill him and have my revenge. No need. Master, you died a few years ago, Lu Changjing told her. The female assassin froze again. Didn't he become a hero because of this? And you stole the credit. Were you afraid he'd leak the truth, so you silenced him? You're from Xuanhuan Mansion. Yu Jinzhong's death was a major event that year. Don't you know about it? Lu Changjing gave a wry smile. While I've been known to take credit, I'm not that ruthless. The female assassin blushed. Since my friends and family died, I've focused on my training and ignored the outside world. Once I reached Grandmaster level, I immediately came here, so I didn't know. How did that bastard die? After the flood receded, Master Yu, knowing he failed the people who died in Songren, went alone into the Huangsha River and fought the Huangsha Jiao King to the death, finally dying in the river. Lu Changjing sighed. You might ask why Yu Jinzhong did that. It was because the main cause of the flood was the Huangsha Jiao King. That Jiao King used the power of some artifact to stir up huge waves upstream, affecting the weather and causing the massive rainfall. Yu Jinzhong went to fight it after the flood, knowing full well he was outmatched. The female assassin was stunned, unable to speak. She'd never imagined that the emperor wasn't the person responsible. The person she should blame was the man once respected by countless people in Songren Prefecture, and he was already dead at the hands of the real culprit. Now what was she supposed to do? Seeing the confused look on her face, Lu Changjing offered her a direction. If you want revenge, find the Huangsha Jiao King. It's the one truly responsible. You expect me to go to my death? The female assassin's eyes were red. The Huangsha Jiao King is a top-tier demon, practically a dragon. Even a grandmaster is helpless. In the river, it's almost invincible. Even if I train my entire life, stepping into the grandmaster realm is a long shot. How could I ever avenge my friends and family? That the tears streamed down her face at that realization. She'd found the real enemy, but they were so strong that it was impossible to imagine victory. How could she avenge her loved ones? Lu Changjing looked at her. I can help you. You. The female assassin looked at him suspiciously. Lu Changjing nodded. The Huangsha Jiao King isn't just your enemy, it's mine, and even more so the enemy of the Daning dynasty. It's only natural for me to help. I almost killed you. You still want to help me? She asked, still suspicious. Lu Changjing smiled, showing no ill effects from the poison. Did you think I was so easily killed? It was just some poison, easily taken care of. Ah. The female assassin was dumbfounded, then removed her mask. It turns out it was all wishful thinking. You're the emperor. Of course you have tricks up your sleeve. Soft dragon fragrance might be potent, but it's useless against you. Lu Changjing thought that she guessed wrong, because he didn't have as many trump cards, but seeing the female assassin's face, he was stunned. Her curved eyebrows seemed to be perpetually frowning, and her eyes seemed to always be on the verge of tears. She was as beautiful as a fairy, charming, as if carved from white jade. Her eyes were like pools of clear water, tinged with melancholy that evoked deep sympathy. Her movements were light, like a willow in the breeze, and her figure graceful, like the moon reflected on the water. Her face was like a lotus rising from the water, her fingertips like tender bamboo shoots, and her wrists like lotus roots. Her eyebrows were naturally dark, her lips naturally red, her nose perfectly shaped, her teeth like woven shells, and her mouth like a cherry. From afar, she was a slender beauty, up close, a picture of elegance. She possessed beauty that could make fish sink and birds fall, a presence that could captivate a kingdom. Lu Changjing never imagined this female assassin would be so stunning, particularly with her air of vulnerability, surpassing any woman in the imperial court. Chapter 26 Physical Fitness Exceeds 100. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After a beat, Lu Changjing scrapped the idea of rushing over to hug her. this wasn't some harem concubine. Any sudden move like that, and she'd likely strike. Even with his Huangjilingfu, she was still a master. He couldn't be positive he could overpower her. His reason for helping her, for giving her assassination attempt, wasn't to score another concubine, but to cultivate a chess piece, a weapon. He had nobody he could truly trust in the harem. Chao Wenjing was constantly watching, a threat hanging over his head. He needed a way out, especially a way to escape the palace. If things went south before he came into his own, he could rely on her to break him out, live to fight another day. With his immortal demon body as a cheat code, time was all he needed. Sooner or later, he'd be unstoppable. Then, he could reclaim everything he'd lost, but he wasn't about to gamble unless he had to. For now, she was just a contingency plan. When she finished wiping her tears, Lu Changjing handed her a manual of powerful skills. This is a sign of my good faith. Memorize it. If you master it, you can enter the realm of gods and demons. No matter how tough the Yellow Sand Dragon King is, if he hasn't reached that realm, he's no match for you. This. She was stunned, staring at the manual in her hand. Secret of the divine shark swallowing the moon, starred out a low-level body refining skill divided into 21 levels. Mastering all 21 would guarantee entry into the realm of body refining gods and demons. The Yellow Sand Dragon King was just a top-tier demon king, not a demon god, so no real contest for a god of war. She'd never seen a skill manual so precious. Her current skills were only mid-level master level, nowhere near divine shark swallowing the moon. You really want to help me? That she still couldn't believe it. She had tried to kill him, called him a dog emperor more than once. Lu Changjing smiled. I'm handing over a divine manual. What does that tell you? I'm Kai Xior. Thank you, Your Majesty. After a moment, she knelt before him, accepting his offer. Lu Changjing smiled. Finally, someone he could trust, a backup plan. Plus, she was stunningly beautiful. Having her around would be good for future generations. He asked her about herself and the palace and realized he'd struck gold. Kai Xior was only 27 but had already reached the low-level Grandmaster realm. Her talent rivaled Ning Zhongyu, the supposed peerless genius. Ning Zhongyu had reached Grandmaster in his early 20s, but with all the resources the royal family could provide, without that kind of support, reaching Grandmaster by 30 was amazing, let alone 20. Kai Xior lacked all that. Her resources were a fraction of Ning Zhongyu's, yet she'd still reached Grandmaster at 27. A testament to her raw talent. With royal resources, she'd likely advance even faster than Ning Zhongyu. After accepting Kai Xior, Lu Changjing instructed her to continue posing as a concubine, stay in the Qianqing Palace, practice, and come to him if she needed anything. Likewise, if he needed her, he'd contact her. He told her to keep it a secret, to secretly observe the Qianqing Palace for him. To prevent him from being deceived. Mostly, it was to keep an eye on Chao Wenjing. If anything went down, she could warn him, and he could run. He had a lot to answer for, and Ning Zhongyu was probably close to losing it. After she left, Lu Changjing sighed in relief. It was almost dawn. No time to practice. After washing, he studied and reviewed the memorials. Chao Wenjing was out again, likely taking care of business. Lu Changjing could focus more on practice and gaining power. With the 5 elements pills and low-level spiritual fruits Tan Qingyun provided, his practice was advancing quickly. His bone marrow was tempering at an incredible speed, approaching perfection. Next was the blood exchange realm, tied to talent. Lu Changjing was eager to see what would happen. Most warriors at this level only saw a slight increase in talent, maybe 10%. 20% to 30% was already amazing, but his physique was nearly 100 times stronger than normal. His blood exchange benefits would be far greater than the average warriors. Boom. Days later, Lu Changjing felt a series of roars in his body. It felt like shedding a thick layer of skin and replacing it with a stronger one. He hadn't broken through to blood exchange, but his physique had broken through 100-fold, rivaling a master's body. While he wasn't a body-refining master, his defense, endurance, lifespan, were on par, if not superior. In some ways, it had been almost 3 months since he'd arrived in this world. Feeling the sudden increase in physique, Lu Changjing nodded, satisfied. His golden finger was powerful, driven by his super physique. his strength had doubled. His speed, reaction, and senses were also more than twice as strong as other warriors. For example, the strength of a normal marrow training warrior was around 1,000 kilograms. Lu Changjing's was over 2,000. His talent had also improved considerably, at least 3 times what it was when he first arrived. The improvements were fastest at first, then slowed, requiring more accumulation. Now that his physique had exceeded 100 and his marrow training was complete, it was time to consider breaking through to the next level, blood exchange level, 9th level warrior. Chapter 27, Reborn. Please read on. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 100 times the normal fitness level is a major threshold. Reaching the next one might take forever. Lu Changjing didn't have that kind of time, so it was time to jump into the blood exchange realm. Bang, bang, bang. The bottleneck leading to this realm quickly crumbled under the assault of his powerful 5 elements blood and qi. Now that his physique rivaled a body-refining master, Lu Changjing was far bolder in breaking through barriers. It was night and day compared to other warriors' cautious approaches. Whoosh! And not just the breakthrough. His blood exchange was way more intense. 2 other warriors exchanged blood carefully, like a quiet trickle, almost imperceptible, but not him. During his blood exchange, his body churned with a rushing sound. That was the sound of regular blood getting swapped out for blood and qi on a massive scale. As his blood transformed, Lu Changjing felt his whole body becoming clearer, his mind sharper. Black grime constantly oozed from his pores, coating him head to toe in an instant. If he hadn't gone through the blood exchange, he wouldn't have believed how much gunk had built up inside him. Looking at the dirt that now caked him, Lu Changjing couldn't help but grin wryly. But this wasn't the time to dwell on that. Cultivation was the priority. Focus, focus. Lu Changjing kept exchanging blood, reveling in the feeling of rapid progress. For most warriors, the blood exchange took a long time, painstakingly replacing their regular blood drop by drop, but with a physique 100 times stronger, Lu Changjing's recovery was insane. He could trade blood continuously without needing to rest nearly as much. Plus, with the help of 5 elements pills and low-grade spirit fruits, Lu Changjing replaced 1/3 of his blood on his first try alone. At this pace, he only needed a few more sessions to finish the blood exchange process, a fraction of the time required by other warriors. After cleaning himself up, Lu Changjing rested to prepare for more blood exchange training tomorrow. Over the next few days, Lu Changjing kept up the blood exchange without pause. By the time he'd nearly exhausted his supply of 5 elements pills, all of the blood in his body had been replaced with blood and qi. The blood exchange, mercury slurry, hair removal, and marrow cleansing were all done. With the blood exchange complete, Lu Changjing's strength, speed, reactions, defense, senses, everything had undergone a radical transformation. The biggest boost was his talent. It leaped from 1 in 100 to 1 in 1,000, maybe even higher. If Lu Changjing was merely a talented guy before, he was now a top-tier prodigy. The benefits of this hair removal and marrow cleansing were staggering. His talent had multiplied, far beyond what other warriors experienced. Most warriors would be thrilled with a 2 or 3% improvement, usually less than 10%, but Lu Changjing? With that 100-fold physique, the benefits of the blood exchange were dozens of times greater. Too, with that kind of talent, he'd learn techniques, combat moves, and secret arts way faster than before. While there was still a significant gap between him and Ning Zhongyu, as his physique continued to improve, his talent would eventually reach a level that rivaled Ning Zhongyu's. After the blood exchange, his already superhuman physique had grown even stronger, close to 110 times that of a normal person. His strength increase was insane, reaching over 6,600 pounds, almost triple the power of a warrior at the same level. Even elite warriors were nowhere near as strong as Lu Changjing at this point, and that wasn't even mentioning the jump in reaction time, speed, senses, etc. Many were approaching the level of body-refining masters. With these improvements, his future training would be much smoother, and it wouldn't be long before Lu Changjing truly entered the master realm. A smile touched his lips. Lu Changjing had just finished lunch when he heard Tan Qingyun's familiar voice. Seeing concubine Zhen, as innocent and sweet as a little fawn, Lu Changjing grinned and pulled her into a hug. He hadn't seen this little cutie for a while. Lin Yisin must have scared her off. Finally, He was seeing her again. Tan Qingyun had brought another food box. Besides some 5 elements pills and low-grade spirit fruits, there were even more ice grapes, easily 100 more than last time. Looking at the grapes, Lu Changjing winced. Even though they tasted great, he couldn't stand eating them all the time. Lin Yisan alone had force-fed him thousands, now Tan Qingyun had brought even more. Was she trying to kill him with overeating? But looking at Tan Qingyun's hopeful gaze, Lu Changjing couldn't bring himself to refuse. He'd have to bite the bullet. Over an hour later, Lu Changjing saw off Tan Qingyun, whose belly was practically round. If he didn't know she was still a virgin, Lu Changjing would have thought she was pregnant. Brother Emperor, no grapes or bananas today. We're having watermelon, it's nice and juicy. But what Lu Changjing didn't expect was that right after he'd sent Tan Qingyun away and set the table, Lin Yisan showed up, looking at the food box, half as tall as a person, packed with who knew how many watermelons. Lu Changjing started to panic, but to avoid getting caught by Lin Yisan, he greeted her with a smile. I love watermelon. It's so sweet and refreshing. You know me so well, Xian. Hee, I knew you loved watermelon, especially imported ones. Lin Yisan grabbed Lu Changjing's hand and led him to the secret room and back. Let's go, Emperor. You just finished lunch, so watermelon will be perfect to quench your thirst. Don't you just love my imported watermelon? I'll get you more later. Lu Changjing agreed with a forced smile and was dragged into the secret room, kicking and screaming on the inside. Dealing with these 2 concubines was hard enough. If other concubines found out about this, his study would never be safe again. He had to keep this quiet. He couldn't let other concubines know, not yet, or the risk of getting exposed was too high. If Xuanhuan learned about his relationship with Tan Qingyun and Lin Yisan, he'd kill him. Ning Zhongyu hadn't even gotten a taste of the imported fruits from Tan Qingyun and Lin Yisan, and he, the fake emperor, was almost sick of them. That couldn't happen. The next morning, although Lu Changjing, still feeling a little stuffed, managed to avoid getting caught by Xuanhuan, he still got a harsh lecture. Xuanhuan warned him to be extra careful with an important matter coming up. If he screwed up, not only would Lu Changjing be dead, but Xuanhuan would be in deep trouble, too. Chapter 28 Alien Saint. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Go to court. Lu Changjing was taken aback when Xuanhuan told him he'd be appearing at the Hall of Supreme Harmony tomorrow. Hesitation crept onto his face. Master Cao, I'm still getting my bearings with the dynasty's affairs. I only have a general grasp of what's happening in and out of court, and there's still so much I don't know. All the important officials are practically pulse-casting masters. Aren't you afraid they'll see through me? Believe me, I'd love to give you more time to prepare, but we don't have it. Xuanhuan sounded helpless. His Majesty hasn't held court for months. This has been the longest break since he took the throne, and we can't delay any longer. Plus, the rumors about His Majesty being under house arrest in our household are getting louder. Going to court is the only way to put those rumors to rest. Do you really think I want you to go to court so soon? Seeing Xuanhuan's worried expression, Lu Changjing didn't know what to say. So, sink or swim, you have to pull this off. No mistakes allowed, or we're both cooked. Xuanhuan casually sent another burst of energy toward Lu Changjing and gave him a serious warning. What else could Lu Changjing do? He just had to make it through this ordeal. He'd have to face it eventually. Fortunately, according to Xuanhuan, Ning Zhongyu hadn't been paying much attention to government lately. His understanding of the civil and military affairs of the Manchu dynasty was probably not as good as Lu Changjing's. This gave him a little more confidence. Under Xuanhuan's intensive tutoring, his understanding of the dynasty sharpened. He'd learned the court procedures before, and now he was reviewing and learning something new. The two of them taught and studied for hours without realizing it. It was almost dawn, time to prepare for court. It wasn't just Lu Changjing, the fake emperor, who was getting ready. Many civil and military officials in Bayou capital qualified to attend court were doing the same. They dressed in their finest, had some breakfast, and headed toward the palace by horse or sedan. Upon arriving, they couldn't go straight to court. They had to wait outside the Meridian Gate. At Mao hour, a eunuch would call their names and check them in, then they lined up to enter the palace, ministers arranged according to rank, civilian officials to the left, military officials to the right. Orderly and silent, Lu Changjing was also fully dressed, wearing a gorgeous dragon robe, brocade robe, and a dragon crown. The bright yellow robe was embroidered with dragons rising from the sea. The wind rippled through the sleeves above the turbulent golden waves at the hem. Dozens of eunuchs, imperial guards, and palace maids followed, attending Lu Changjing's dragon chariot like stars around the moon. Everywhere he looked, he saw carved beams and painted buildings, a constant reminder of the majesty of the palace. Soon they arrived at the Hall of Supreme Harmony, also known as the Golden One Hall. The main hall was nearly 100 meters high and covered several thousand square meters, the largest hall in the entire palace. The decoration was incredibly luxurious, with dense brackets under the eaves and colorful heshi paintings on the beams indoors and out. The upper parts of the doors and windows were inlaid with diamond patterns, the lower parts embossed with cloud and dragon patterns, and the joints decorated with gilt copper leaves engraved with dragon patterns. The floor of the hall was paved with gold bricks, and a throne sat in the open space. 6 huge pillars with gold-plated cloud and dragon patterns stood on either side. The gold foil was applied in 2 shades to make the pattern stand out. 4 pairs of items stood on both sides of the throne: Baoxiang elephants, Luduan beasts, cranes, and incense pavilions. The treasure elephant symbolized the stability of the country and consolidated political power. The Luduan was a legendary auspicious animal. The crane symbolized longevity, and the incense pavilion symbolized the country's stability. Above the throne, in the center of the ceiling, was a caisson shaped like an umbrella with an upward bulge. In the center of the caisson was a giant dragon lying on its back, head down, holding a pearl in its mouth. Sitting on the dragon chair, Lu Changjing was nervous. He'd never experienced anything like this before. In his previous life, he was just a regular guy with a 9 to 5. Fortunately, he had his golden finger to give him the confidence to face anyone. Accompanied by the sound of nai, ministers slowly walked into the Golden One Hall one by one, solemn and majestic, led by the 3 dukes. All the ministers lined up in order, each wearing gorgeous court clothes and crowns, demonstrating their status and authority. "Greetings, Your Majesty. Long live the Emperor." Soon, all the courtiers bowed to Lu Changjing. Xuanhuan stood nearby, his face solemn, showing no sign of panic. "Rise, my lords." Lu Changjing told the officials to stand, his mood gradually calming down. He wasn't as nervous as before. If he could get through the initial moments without raising suspicion, the rest would be easier. Once the courtiers stood, Xuanhuan shouted, "If there is business, bring it to court. If not, dismiss." As soon as he finished, a burly minister with thick eyebrows and a square face stepped forward. "Your Majesty, Wei Shangang, I have a memorial." Wang Jia, here we go. Lu Changjing glanced at Xuanhuan, speechless. A few days ago, Xuanhuan said Wei Shangang's matter had been taken care of and told him to shut up. Now, on his first day in court, the guy was back. Xuanhuan's face darkened. He glared at Wei Shangang. Wei Shangang ignored Xuanhuan. After saluting, he said loudly, "Many areas in the southwest are in crisis. Mountain tribes have looted supplies, causing heavy casualties. I implore Your Majesty to send troops. The Daning dynasty cannot afford to retreat any further." Just as he thought, it was about that. Lu Changjing glanced at the ministers and saw dissatisfaction on many faces. They obviously disagreed with war against the Xuanhuan tribe. The Daning dynasty had been unstable in recent years, with natural disasters and man-made disasters. Going to war with the Xuanhuan tribe now was too much to bear. Everyone's life would be tough, especially the military generals. The Fulong Mountains, home of the Xuanhuan tribe, was not a friendly place, so as soon as Wei Shangang finished, the Minister of Rights stepped forward. "I disagree. Demons and ghosts run rampant domestically, and the Song and Zhao states us covetously. If we go to war with the Xuanhuan tribe now, those enemies will likely exploit the chaos. Besides, the Xuanhuan tribe, hearing that Your Majesty was selecting a concubine, wish to marry their saint to you. Their envoy will soon reach Baiyujing. How can we go to war with the Xuanhuan tribe at this time?" that the court officials were surprised and looked at the Minister of Rights. Lu Changjing was also surprised. He didn't expect such an unexpected turn of events. Wasn't the Xuanhuan tribe always arrogant and looked down on the Daning dynasty? Why would they suddenly want to marry their saint to him? Did they encounter trouble, have a change of heart, or was there another reason? Chapter 29 The Emperor #039, Procrastination. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Besides Lu Changjing, all the officials, both civil and military, shared the same doubts. Soon, a minister inquired about the truth of the matter, and the Minister of Rights confirmed it. The Xuanhuan tribe's envoys will arrive within a month, at most, so it's definitely happening. Heh. Wei Shangang scoffed as soon as the Minister of Rights finished. If I'm not mistaken, the Xuanhuan tribe wants this marriage with our Daning dynasty because they're being targeted by the blood barbarians and want us to send troops to help them out. And on top of that, he continued, while they're offering their princess to His Majesty, they want her to become the empress of our Daning dynasty or, at the very least, an imperial concubine. The ministers immediately erupted in uproar. Absolutely not. A mere barbarian can't become our empress. We can't agree to that, not even the imperial concubine. The mountain barbarians are asking for too much. Daring to covet the position of the mother of our country? They're just greedy. So that's why the mountain barbarians are being so generous. They have ulterior motives. That the Minister of Rights was sweating bullets, realizing the matter was no joke. Gentlemen, please be patient. We need to discuss this in detail once the Xuanhuan envoys arrive in Baiyujing. Right now, the mountain barbarians have only proposed these conditions. Whether we agree is up to His Majesty. The final outcome is still uncertain. This calmed the chaos somewhat. After the interruption, the issue of sending troops to aid the mountain barbarians was naturally put on hold. Lu Changjing had successfully dodged a bullet, avoiding having to deal with that headache, at least for now, but things weren't easy afterward. Several officials came to him one after another with matters needing decisions. Unable to make up his mind on most issues and without Chao Wenjing to advise him, Lu Changjing stalled, claiming he'd decide after getting a better understanding of the situation. He planned to ask Chao Wenjing for solutions after the court session ended. In the Xuanhuan palace, Chao Wenjing was also being cautious, refraining from sending messages to Lu Changjing. There were multiple grandmasters present. The Prime Minister, the General, and the Inspector were all grandmasters at the 10th level of forging veins. General Kai Chaoan, in particular, was a powerful grandmaster, ranked among the top 3 super masters in the Daning dynasty. Chao Wenjing couldn't match Kai Chaoan and had to help conceal Lu Changjing's true nature to prevent his impersonation from being discovered. Despite the power of the Huanzhong divine talisman, someone might possess a divine weapon that could see through it. The morning court session was tough and uncomfortable. Fortunately, the rumor about the emperor being under house arrest was largely dispelled, and fewer problems arose subsequently, and once you've done it once, it gets easier the next time. The court session lasted almost 2 hours before concluding. As the officials departed, Lu Changjing sighed in relief and was escorted back to the imperial study by Chao Wenjing. I can't help but feel that His Majesty is a bit off. Compared to previous sessions, he seems more inclined to pass the buck. Ultimately, he's just trying to smooth things over, postponing any important matter, unwilling to expend the time and energy. Careful what you say. His Majesty has to focus on practicing the Zhang technique to secure the succession. Naturally, he doesn't want to get bogged down in governing. It's understandable. It would be great if the late emperor were here. While he enjoyed his beauties, he was diligent in attending court and wouldn't shy away from responsibilities. Push, drag, delay. I think His Majesty should be called Emperor Procrastination. Don't talk nonsense, or Eunuch Cao will deal with you. Thanks to martial arts being commonplace in this world, many court officials were forging pulse masters, even grandmasters. Therefore, their respect for Emperor Ning Zhongyu was less pronounced compared to the ancient dynasties. After all, a master can easily escape and hide, making them hard to find even with a nationwide search, let alone a grandmaster. Many court officials had enough confidence not to give Emperor Ning Zhongyu special treatment. For instance, Counselor Wei Shangang had. Previously aired Ning Zhongyu's and his father's shortcomings outside the imperial study, embarrassing the fake emperor Lu Changjing. This highlighted the high status of masters in the Great Ning dynasty. In such a vast dynasty, only a few hundred masters existed, scattered to guard the massive territory of 100 million square kilometers. On average, each prefecture had only a few dozen masters, mostly low-level ones. Moreover, nearly half the masters were concentrated in Baiyujing, leaving even fewer in the local areas. The civil and military ministers attending court were primarily masters, mostly mid-level or higher. Over a dozen were more skilled than Ning Zhongyu. Furthermore, Ning Zhongyu's political laziness only fueled the criticism. The Emperor of Procrastination nickname was an unexpected consequence. However, Lu Changjing and Xuanhuan remained unaware, still discussing the court session in the imperial study. You did well overall this time. At least no flaws were detected, relieving our concerns. But you still deserve a scolding. When you procrastinate, you come across as indecisive, unlike His Majesty. You need more practice. Next time, postpone as many court matters as possible. We'll make the decisions after returning to the imperial study. After a few slaps and some advice on court etiquette and areas for improvement, Xuanhuan departed. After a cup of tea, as Lu Changjing still felt down, Tan Qingyun's voice rang out. "Brother, baby's here to see you." The baby nickname was something Lu Changjing had given Tan Qingyun. The brother part she'd picked up on her own. Lu Changjing felt Tan Qingyun had a cute and innocent face, like a baby. Recalling the term from his previous life, he'd called her baby. He hadn't expected her to pick it up so quickly, immediately calling herself baby after just a few times. Baby's hair flowed like a waterfall, her lips were like cherry blossoms, her eyebrows like willow leaves, her eyes like autumn water, her face was pink and rosy, and her neck was white. Her waist was slim as she rushed toward Lu Changjing. Seeing Tan Qingyun, Lu Changjing's mood brightened. He caught her as she leaped toward him, saying, "Baby, you're here. Brother's going to give you a hug." Since falling in love, Lu Changjing had become increasingly shameless. Love can change people. Hee hee. Tan Qingyun smiled and threw herself into Lu Changjing's arms, holding a food box. Chapter 30 Spiritual Power. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Opening the snack box, it turned out to be a wine cooler, stocked with fancy stuff. Lu Changjing's eyes widened, and he shot a playful look at Tan Qingyun. "Baby, are you trying to pull a fast one on me? Trying to get me tipsy?" Tan Qingyun pouted innocently. "What are you talking about, big brother? This is top-shelf wine made from spiritual fruit. I got it for you to help with your practice." She added with a grin, "But we can totally sample it. You won't even get a buzz, promise." Lu Changjing immediately pulled Tan Qingyun close. "My bad, baby. Let's crack open a bottle then. You know I can't resist your fancy stuff." His gaze lingered on Tan Qingyun's kissable lips, and he decided right then and there he was gonna drink a little more today. But even with the best intentions, he barely got through half a bottle before he was feeling it. Turns out, this fruit wine was brewed from medium-grade spiritual fruits and higher. No wonder it packed such a medicinal punch. After seeing Tan Qingyun out, Lu Changjing holed up in his private training room and started working on his 5 elements fist. By the time the medicinal properties of that half bottle had mostly worn off, Lu Changjing was on the verge of breaking through to the Earth Gate realm. He figured he'd probably make the jump in the next few days. It seemed like he was only a hop, skip, and a jump away from busting through the blood exchange realm too. This speed was crazy fast. Even Lu Changjing was impressed. The next morning, right after he'd managed to skim a few reports, Xuanhuan stormed in, looking like a thundercloud. Whack! 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 The second he saw Lu Changjing, he unleashed a barrage of energy blasts that left Lu Changjing's legs red, swollen, and Xuanhuan's eyes were practically shooting daggers. Lu Changjing took a deep breath, trying to tamp down his anger. "Lord Cao, I'm at a loss. What exactly have I done to earn your displeasure?" "What have you done?" Xuanhuan sneered. "His Majesty has been on the throne for 6 years, attended court 1,000 times, and never once been criticized by his ministers. But you managed to attend court once, and earn His Majesty the charming title of, the Pushy Emperor. Now the whole damn capital is buzzing about it, and the news is spreading like wildfire. Color me impressed. Lu Changjing was speechless. He wanted to point out that it was Chao Wenjing who had pushed him into it in the first place and had even thought he wasn't aggressive enough afterward. Now that the chickens have come home to roost, he was trying to pin the blame on him. Total BS. Besides, even if he hadn't earned the Pushy Emperor label this time, Ning Zhongyu was bound to pick up a similar nickname sooner or later, given his style. It had nothing to do with him, but seeing Chao Wenjing's face, Lu Changjing decided to bite his tongue to avoid getting a beatdown, until he had the muscle to back it up. Playing it cool was the only way to avoid getting his head handed to him. That being said, he definitely added Chao Wenjing's name to his mental list of people to settle the score with later. When he was strong enough, Chao Wenjing would pay. Big time. Chao Wenjing knew deep down that Lu Changjing wasn't really to blame. He was just blowing off steam, so, after a brief tantrum, he stomped off, probably to try and deal with the fallout. As soon as Chao Wenjing was gone, Lu Changjing got his blood flowing and, with the help of his supercharged physique, healed up in no time, leaving no trace of the beating. Right now, Chao Wenjing was still operating under the assumption that Lu Changjing was a regular guy, so his attacks didn't even leave a dent, healing in minutes, after skimming through the reports for a while. Lu Changjing shifted his focus back to training. The Imperial Dragon Soul Sutra was about to hit level 1, and he wanted to devote more time to it. Ding! In that moment, along with a soft tone from his mind, Lu Changjing felt some of the power move in his mental space. This was spiritual energy, which could be called the power of the royals. It was vigorous, pure, and sharp. Even in its infancy, it had such a powerful aura. Lu Changjing also felt a faint pressure. If his mental strength wasn't already strong, he would have been injured. No wonder the former royal family waited until their physical strength had reached the master level before practicing the Royal Dragon Soul Sutra. The first level was already so sharp, not to mention the later levels. Though the shortcomings were obvious, its advantages were also very obvious. The first level could clearly detect the location within 3 meters, which was far more accurate than regular skills, and the accuracy of its detections was far better. If the spiritual energy was used to perform spiritual secrets, the power would also be amplified. As long as it was tempered, the Royal Dragon Soul Sutra was the best in its class. With the Huangji 4 tribulations, the fighting power could be imagined. With his talent being 1 in a million, it wouldn't be difficult for him to master the Huangji 4 tribulations next. With a smile, Lu Changjing focused on practicing the Huangji Dragon Soul Sutra, unaware of the passage of time. After his talent soared, his progress in practicing the Huangji Wandering Dragon step also skyrocketed, and he was getting closer to mastering the step. There was also the Huangji swordsmanship, which surprisingly broke through to the second level, and could cut 2 swords in an instant, and each sword had its own full attack power. If 2 swords were cut in the same place, it almost meant that the attack power was doubled. If you can practice to the 10th level and cut 10 swords in an instant, it means that the attack power is 10 times, and the strength of the Huangji swordsmanship can be imagined. However, 10 times the attack power also means 10 times the reaction force. If you don't have a strong enough physique, you can't bear such a terrifying reaction force, so it's not easy to cut out 10 swords in an instant. But with Lu Changjing's current physique, let alone 2 swords, even if he cuts out 10 swords in an instant, he can bear it. However, he has only practiced the Royal Extreme Swordsmanship to the 2nd level, and there is still a long way to go before the 10th level. If it weren't for the surge in talent after the blood transfusion, I'm afraid he would still be stuck in the 1st level. Although the Royal Extreme Divine Art system is not difficult to practice, it is relative to the top-level divine arts of the same level, not compared with those ordinary martial arts and spiritual martial arts. In the past, Lu Changjing's talent was only 1 in 100, and even at the beginning, it was less than 1 in 100. It was normal for him to progress slowly. Feeling the surge in various combat skills, Lu Changjing nodded with satisfaction, and unknowingly practiced until the afternoon. Hey big brother, why are you here reading paperwork all day? Don't you ever get bored? A familiar voice came from my ear. From the name, I can know that the person coming is Lin Yisan. Lu Changjing smiled and put away the memorials. I am the king of a country. What else can I read if not memorials? I can't always read Jianghu Zi like you. Looking back, his eyes lit up.